A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Five bells. Stand by all stations.
Attention, all districts. A 5-alarm fire. 5 bells. Move in immediately.
That's it. Let's roll.
Let's go. Firefighters. Presenting Firefighters, the true-to-life story of our unsung heroes who stand ready to ride by day or night against our most murderous enemy, the demon of fire. In just a minute, we'll visit Fire Department headquarters to hear the bulletin Chief Cody is preparing to send to all fire stations in the city. A bulletin with which Tim Collins, rookie fireman, has a special connection he does not yet suspect. But before we join Chief Cody, here's an important message. Let's go, firefighters. With the help of Tim Collins, as you remember, the problem of the grass fires that menace the Green Hills district of the city has been cleared up. One afternoon, as Tim Collins is going off duty, the driver of Engine Company 209, Private Gonigal, calls him over to the bulletin board.
Hi, Hooksy. Come here.
Oh, what do you have, Gonigal?
What does this mean?
What's what mean?
This notice the lieutenant just put up on the board. Notice from Chief Cody.
Oh, from the chief, huh? What's it say?
Hereafter, every man in the department will maintain an alert watch at all times for unusual fire hazards.
Well, if that's what Chief Cody says, that's what he means.
But why, Hooksy? What's the matter with the Bureau of Inspection? That's all they do all the time is look for fire hazards.
Oh, sure, but they can't be everywhere. Besides, it doesn't hurt to keep your eyes open, Gonigal.
It says if we see any special hazards, we should report to the lieutenant.
All right, what's so hard about that?
Haven't I got enough on my mind already?
All you have on your mind is your uniform cap. Come on, let's go home. I'll walk you down the corner.
Hooksy, look.
Huh? What? Where?
A fire hazard.
What is?
That whole side of the street. That block of little stores over there.
Oh, no, Gonigal. You got it all wrong.
What do you mean I got it all wrong? Look at those shops. All kinds mixed together. Offices and workrooms and stuff on the second floor. The whole shebang so flimsy you could touch it off with a cigarette lighter.
No, look, Gonigal. The chief said unusual fire hazards. That's what we're supposed to look for. Unusual, get it?
No.
Well, look. Take that tailor shop on the corner. Now, suppose they lay in a stock of cleansing fluid. Keep it on a shelf where it might fall off, smash the container.
Look, upstairs over the tailor shop.
Yeah, some kind of little workshop. What about it?
Watch that window.
Huh? Well, that's fire, Gonigal. A flare. Hey, it's gone.
Come on, Hooksy. Let's get over there.
All right. Turn right at the top, Gonigal.
Okay. Here we are.
Yeah.
Oh, man, it's black as night. Where's the light?
No time for that. This place looks deserted. We gotta get inside.
Hold it, boy, hold it. Feel that door before you open it.
Yeah. It's cool, Gonigal. No heat behind this door.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Won't you step in?
Sure, but...
Is this your workshop, sir?
This is the outer projection of the inner cubicle, which might be more truly styled my workshop, young man. My workshop is here.
Huh?
In my skull. My work is performed in the realm of creative thought. You stand on the threshold of the outer projection of
look, mister, this is fire department business.
Yes, I perceive you wear the uniform of a firefighter.
Yeah. Well, just now, out there on the street, we perceived there's a fire in your back room here, mister.
Yeah, a flame that flared up and died down again. You better let us take a look in that back room.
Why, yes, of course, most certainly.
Excuse me, please. Hooksy, stand by. I'm going in.
Yeah.
Well, your friend is impetuous, eh, Rooksy?
Nothing in here.
Illusion. There is more to be seen in my laboratory than meets the eye.
Your laboratory, Mr.
Smith. Henry Smith.
Oh, well, Mr. Smith, we've made a mistake if that's a laboratory. If you were working in there and we just happened to see what we thought was a fire... Gonigal, we're a couple of dope.
No. By no means, young man. I am flattered. Indeed, I am honored that my simple illusion has so completely deceived two such professionals as yourselves.
Illusion, huh? Just what is it you do here, Mr. Smith?
Well, let me show you. The hope of finding a fire...
not hope, Mr. Smith.
Fire, that's something we hope not to find. This laboratory all walled in with fire brick, huh?
Won't you, step inside, Mr. Hoaxy?
Oh, yeah, I'd like to see it.
Mm-hmm. Fire brick, as your friend says. I believe I take all reasonable precautions when I, create fire.
You create that stuff? I don't get it, mister.
Allow me to demonstrate. The fire you saw from the street, you say it flamed and vanished?
Yep. And I said to myself, there is a blaze that's cut loose in an empty room. Give it another 5 minutes, I says to myself, we'll have 2 alarms on our hands.
Yeah, there's no doubt we saw it, Mr. Smith. But, just a trick, I suppose.
As you say, just a trick. For instance, you see this, pellet or pill.
What's that, a headache tablet?
One to cause headaches, perhaps. Observe. I cast it on the floor.
What's that for?
Trample it under your heel, my friend. Grind it. Trample it.
Oh. All right, I'll try it. I'll step on it like this. There you go. Hey. Oh, smokes. What was that?
And flame shoots up all about you, my friend. A shimmering scarlet curtain. A flash of flame. Instantly gone.
Gonigal, are you burned?
No, I'm not burned, Hooksy. Never touched me. Ooh, how do you like that?
I don't know. Though it does seem safe enough.
Your friend took no risk, I can assure you. Merely an illusion. One of many perfected and produced for the trade by the great Vesuvio.
The great who?
Vesuvio, sir. My name in the trade. The magic trade. My card, gentlemen?
Oh, thanks, sir. The great Vesuvio. Magic novelties, ghosts, high-class illusions only. Ask for catalog.
Look, Mr. Smith...
Smith is my alias. Vesuvio is my alter ego. Call me whichever you will.
Well, look, all magic aside, now, look at all those chemicals on those shelves. You know, you slip up sometime with one of these illusions of yours, and you'll need more than fire brick to save this place.
There's phosphorus in that big jar of water, isn't there?
I prefer not to discuss my experiments, nor the materials I use, nor the use to which I put my materials.
What's he mean, Hooksy?
Well, he doesn't want to talk about his experiments. Mr. Smith, we don't care about your experiments or inventions or whatever. All we care about is preventing fires.
A good day, gentlemen.
Look, all we want is to get a line of what goes on here. You know, what unusual hazards you have, like the bulletin from the chief says.
Good day, gentlemen. I have been honored by your visit. We have chatted most amicably, and now, good day.
How do you like that, Hooksy? Here we are back on the street. I never got thrown out any place more polite.
Polite is right. I never got fewer answers either.
Remember what we was talking about, Hooksy? Unusual hazards?
What do you think? Is this something the lieutenant ought to know about?
What do I think? Look, the guy runs a ghost factory. He's making magic or whatever with phosphorus and who knows what right in our home district. And if he starts something he can't finish, Engine 209 has got to get him out of it, right?
Right.
Well, then what do you think?
I think this. This ghost factory is an unusual fire hazard.
Right.
So we pass the word to the lieutenant, and he can pass it along to Chief Cody. Come on, let's go.
When the officer of Company 209 passes on to Chief Cody the report from Privates Gonigal and Tim Collins, the chief takes a serious view of the activities of the great Vesuvio. Such a serious view that next morning he appears in person at the firehouse.
Collins, you say this man does some kind of work with chemicals, huh?
Well, the way I understand it, he's a sort of manufacturer.
Sure, Chief. He manufactures ghosts, all that kind of stuff.
I've got it. That's the reason for the phosphorus, of course.
Sir?
Phosphorus. You know how it acts?
Oh, yeah, it sets itself afire in the open air. Unless you keep it in water, it burns like I don't know what. And smoke. Phew, that smoke could poison you.
Yes, but more than that. Phosphorus.
Glows in the dark. Chief, he's using phosphorus to make his ghosts glow in the dark.
How do you like that?
That's my guess, Collins. He's trying to make some kind of glowing, luminous paint. Some preparation to make his ghosts shine.
But phosphorus? Chief, the way that stuff burns, is it safe?
I doubt it, Gunnigal. I think this man Smith or Vesuvio is taking a dangerous risk. And I am going to tell him so.
Now, there's no doubt that Chief Cody is on the right track. But will the great Vesuvio talk with him? When you're the proprietor of a ghost factory and you're engaged in developing a secret luminous paint to make your ghosts glow in the dark, you're apt to be careful about letting the details of your experiments be noised abroad. For Chief Cody's meeting with the great Vesuvio, be sure to listen to our next true-to-life episode of The Firefighters. In just a moment, Chief Bob Cody will tell you, boys and girls, how you can help the firefighters in your own town. But first, here's a message you ought to hear. And now, Chief Bob Cody with a special notice for the Firefighters Brigade. Chief Cody.
Hello, boys and girls. This is your friend, Chief Cody, and here's something I want to mention. I know that for birthdays and so on, one of the presents you might get is a chemistry set. But remember, real chemists don't try any experiments unless they try to rule out all possible accidents. And one of the accidents they dread most is the chance of starting a fire. Now, when you try your hand at those chemical experiments, do it right and take no chances with fire. Well, that's all for now. You'll be hearing from me soon.
Fire Chief Cody and the young rookie fireman Tim Collins will be back on the same station the next time you hear... That's it. Let's roll! Let's go! Firefighters!
In just a moment, X-1. But first, when you hear the hearty laugh and familiar voice of the great Gildersleeve tomorrow night, you know you're in for some hilarious adventures. Because whenever Gildy is around, somehow things never seem to go as planned. It might be his impulsive nature, or maybe it's his incurable weakness for the fairest sex, but whatever it is, the great Gildersleeve is bound to keep you laughing for a full 25 minutes. Tune in tomorrow night and meet Judge Hooker, Nephew Leroy, Housekeeper Bertie, and all the rest of the friendly people from Summerfield as they join the great Gildersleeve. Now stay tuned for X-1 on NBC.
Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight's story, Time and Time Again, by H. Beam Piper. It happened during a routine skirmish in the Great War. Patrols advanced from the defense perimeter under jet cover and preceded by napalm throwers. The enemy defended in depth and mopped up with guided 98s fired from 40 miles to the rear. The blast area was 10 miles in circumference, and the medics didn't find much to pick up over 500 yards in.
Come on. All right, now back it in here. Look out, it's lousy with mud. More. Now, cut left. More, hold it. Stretch it. Coming up.
Come on, Travers, get those men out.
Yes, sir. Get a move on. Line them up. Come on. Easy. You want to kill them? Okay, take it away.
I left those Joes where they was. Half of them won't last till the plane comes. As long as they're alive, they'll be treated. Get those tags out, Travers. Start taking names.
Yes, sir. This one must have been 1,000 yards in.
Get his dog tag out.
What a mess. Here. Hartley Allen, Captain G5 Chem Research, AN-73D. Number SO-23869-403-J.
Hartley?
Allen Hartley.
Oh. That must be the Hartley that wrote Children of the Mist and Conquer's Road.
Never heard of him. Major, I think maybe he's partly conscious. Had I better give him another shot?
Go ahead, Sergeant. There isn't much else we can do for him. It's a rotten shame.
Yeah, ain't it always? Okay, Captain, let me have that arm. There.
Alan!
Oh, down.
Get up, Alan. Can't stay in bed all day.
I remember that. Clear as if it were real.
Up and at him. Hit the deck.
Remarkably vivid. Strange.
Alan, are you all right?
I'm all right. What's wrong with my voice? It's too high.
What are you doing? Practicing singing?
My voice has changed.
Is that all? You're growing up. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday?
Hey, wake up, son. Wake up.
I am awake. It's impossible. I am awake.
Well, the way you slept through that alarm, I'd say it was impossible. Come on, out of bed.
I don't understand.
You went to bed at a decent hour. You could wake up the next morning. Come on, son. Breakfast waiting. Out of bed or I'll turn it over.
All right. It's a dream.
Maybe, but you're wide awake now.
I am. I'm awake.
Well, half awake anyway.
That's the bell at St. Boniface, isn't it? What day is it?
Are you kidding? You forget today's your birthday?
No, I didn't forget.
Neither did I. Here, son. Happy 13th birthday. You won't guess what's in here.
A rifle. A light .22 rifle.
Oh, now how did you know that?
I remembered.
Did I spill the beans sometime? No. I could have sworn it would be a surprise. Well, go on. Open it. You like it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's perfect, Dad.
Well, we'll have to lay down rules about using it. And I'll have to teach you how to operate it. I don't believe in letting a boy handle a gun till he really knows how. If I let you play with that thing before I teach you about guns, you'd blow your head off.
I suppose so.
I'll be shaving, Alan. Come down to breakfast when you're ready. Well, it's a big day today. You're almost a man.
Almost.
You're still groggy. Snap out of it, Alan.
I will. There's a dream in it somewhere, but I'm not sure which.
What?
Never mind, Dad. I'll be right down for breakfast.
What you going to do today, son?
I want to do some reading this morning.
That's always a good thing to do. After breakfast, suppose you take a walk down to the station and get me a Times.
Didn't it come?
What, the Times? Well, they don't deliver. Be a good idea, though. Maybe I'll talk to Sam Ashburn about it. Here's a $50, Alan. Get anything you want for yourself out of the change.
Thanks, Dad.
Finish your milk before you go.
Oh, sure, Dad. Thanks for the money.
You're big enough to handle it now. Hurry back. I'd like to finish the crossword puzzle before lunch.
Here you are, Alan. 1 Times. Tell your father the puzzle's a stinker this week.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Ashburn.
Look out for the trucks when you cross the highway.
I'll go across Elton's lot. It's a shortcut.
Elton's? You'll have a hard time crossing there, son. There's 4 buildings on that block.
I thought they burned down.
I've seen them this morning, big as life.
I guess that didn't happen yet.
What'd you say?
Nothing, Mr. Ashburn. I was just muttering.
My days, youngsters talked up.
Yes, sir. Bye, Mr. Ashburn. Monday, August 6th, 1945. Okinawa 1. Bombing Japan.
Hey, Alan.
Huh?
Alan, wait up.
Hey, Larry Morton. Hiya, Larry.
Hi, Al. You going to Sunday school?
No, I have some things I want to do at home.
Oh, get him. Fancy pants talk. Things I want to do at home.
Oh, go chase yourself around the block.
Go jump in a garbage can.
Go take a flying jet to the moon.
Hey, that's a new one. Flying jet to the moon. You thought up a new one, Al.
Yeah.
I wish I could stay home from Sunday school when I wanted to. How about us going swimming at the canoe club after?
Oh, I wish I could. I gotta stay home. We're expecting company. A couple of aunts of mine. Dad wants me to stay home when they come.
Aunts are a pain.
Nothing I can do.
You see the football movie at the Grand? Boy, what a team. Notre Dame.
I thought you'd like Cornell.
Cornell? Huh. They couldn't beat Vassar.
Well, you're gonna go to Cornell, aren't you?
Me, Cornell? Fat chance.
I'll bet you do.
I wouldn't take your money.
Well, I know you wouldn't, but you'll go to Cornell, all right.
Cornell. Far above Cayuga's waters, there's an awful smell.
Just the same, you'll go to Cornell. Hey, Larry, I gotta go.
Well, so long, Al. I'll see you.
So long, Larry. See you.
I'm stuck in this corner. Don't let a word that makes in proportion.
Tightrope.
Huh? Tight. T-I? It fits. Now, how did you know that, Alan?
That? I read it somewhere, I guess.
Oh. What you reading now? Tarzan again?
No, not Tarzan.
It's refreshing to see you with a book. Sometimes I think I ought to forbid comic books in the house. Yeah, they must be raising the devil with those bombing raids in Japan.
How long do you think the war in Japan will last, Dad?
Oh? I'd say the middle of 1946. They'll have to invade those islands foot by foot.
I don't think so, Dad. I wouldn't be surprised if the war was over very suddenly.
How, by magic? There isn't a thing on earth will make those Japanese surrender. You expect somebody to make a pass and it'll be all over by this afternoon?
Something like that.
Wish you could. A lot of boys dead in the invasion of Japan.
Mr. Hartley, excuse me, please.
Oh, hello, Mr. Gutchell.
That's Frank Gutchell, Dad?
That's right.
Excuse me. I didn't mean to disturb you, Mr. Hartley.
It's all right. Lovely day, isn't it, Mr. Gutchell?
Mr. Hartley, the Lord's Day is always beautiful.
Of course, Mr. Gutchell.
Mr. Hartley, I wonder if you could lend me a gun and some bullets. My little dog's been hurt, and it's been suffering something terrible.
Oh, that's too bad.
I want a gun to put the poor thing out of its pain.
Of course. Now, how would a 20-gauge shotgun do? You wouldn't want anything heavy.
I was hoping you'd let me have a little gun. Maybe, so big.
Pistol?
So I could put it in my pocket. It wouldn't look right to carry a hunting gun on the Lord's Day. And people wouldn't understand that it was for a work of mercy.
Of course, I understand. You're a very religious man.
The whole world is evil, Mr. Hartley.
Yeah, sometimes it certainly looks like it. Well, I have a Colt 38 Special from the auxiliary police outfit.
Well, that's fine.
Now, you've got to bring it right back, Mr. Gutchell. I might be called out. Now, you'll have to promise to get it right back.
Dad, wait a minute. I just remembered.
Remembered what?
Well, aren't there some cartridges left for the Luger? Then you wouldn't be without the Colt.
That's right. I have got a German automatic I could let you have. That way I wouldn't get stuck. You'd have to return it promptly, though.
Oh, wait, Dad, I'll get it. I know where the cartridges are.
Be careful, son. Well, Mr. Gutchell, it sure turned out nice. That's all.
Hello, police headquarters. This is Blake Hartley. Frank Gutchell, who lives on Campbell Street, has just borrowed a gun from me, ostensibly to shoot a dog. What? No, he has no dog. He intends shooting his wife. Now, listen, he'll walk home. If you hurry, you can get a man there on time. What? No, but I wish you'd get my pistol back to me. It's from the First World War. All right. Then you'll take care of it. Goodbye.
There you are. What kept you, Alan?
I couldn't find the cartridges at first. I'll show Mr. Gutchell how it works. It's all loaded, ready to shoot. This is the safety. Just push it forward and up. There are 8 shots in it.
Did you load the chamber, Alan?
Sure, it's on safe now. You understand how it works, Mr. Gutchell?
Oh, yes, I understand. Thank you, Mr. Hartley. Thank you, Sonny. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Mr. Gutchell. Return the gun when you're done.
Yes, I'll be done with it soon. Goodbye.
Alan, you shouldn't have loaded that gun.
I guess it's all over now. I had to keep you from fooling with it. I didn't want you to see I took out the firing pin.
You what?
Gutchell didn't want that gun to shoot a dog. He's a fanatic. He sees visions, hears voices. The voices probably put him up to this. Well, I'll submit that any man who holds intimate conversations with disembodied spirits isn't to be trusted with a gun.
What are you talking about?
While I was at it, I called the police upstairs. I put a handkerchief over my mouth and told them I was you.
You? Well, why did you have to do that?
I couldn't have told them this is little Alan Hartley, 13 years old.
And suppose he really wants to shoot a dog. What kind of a mess will I be in then?
No mess. If I'm wrong, which I'm not, I'll take the rap for it. Dumb kid trick, you know. But if I'm right, you'll have to front for me. You give me a lot of cheap boy hero publicity, which I don't want.
This is crazy, Alan. This is absolutely crazy.
Maybe. We'll have the complete returns in 20 minutes.
Mr. Hartley? Mr. Blake Hartley?
That's right.
I'm Detective Sergeant Koborski from Homicide. Here's your Luger.
Thank you.
I don't know how you spotted that guy, but when we busted in, he was pointing that gun at his wife and swearing a blue streak because it wouldn't go off.
I'm glad I was able to help.
You know, they may even have some kind of a citation for you, Mr. Hartley.
I don't think that's necessary.
In the department, we figure a little publicity never hurt nobody. Even a lawyer, huh?
I really would prefer it if we kept quiet.
Well, whatever you say. We'll want you to drop around in the morning for a statement.
I'll be glad to.
Well, goodbye. Goodbye, Sonny.
Goodbye, Sergeant.
Why don't you take the citation, Dad?
Well, you were right. You saved that woman's life. Now, let's see you put back the firing pin.
Sure. There.
All right, Alan. Suppose we have a little talk.
But I explained everything.
You did not. Yesterday, you wouldn't even have known how to take this pistol apart. Today, you've been using language and expressing ideas that are outside of everything you've ever known before. Now, I want to know...
I hope you're not toying with the medieval notion of obsession.
What?
Would you say I'm changed? When did you first notice this?
Last night, you were still my little boy. This morning, I don't know. You've been strange all day. There's been something... Alan, what's happened to you?
I wish I could be sure myself, Dad. You see, when I woke this morning, I hadn't the least recollection of anything I'd done yesterday, August 4th, 1945.
Oh, but that's serious.
You don't know how serious. My last memory was lying on a stretcher, injured by a bomb explosion. I was 43 years old, and the year was 1975.
1975? Well, that's right. You'll be 43 in 1975, but a bomb?
Yes, during the siege of Buffalo in the Third World War. I was a captain in G5, Scientific Warfare, General Staff.
Buffalo? You mean Buffalo, New York?
There'd been a transpolar invasion of Canada. I was sent to the front to check on service failures of a new lubricating oil. A week after I got there, Ottawa fell and the retreat started. We made a stand at Buffalo, and that was where I got it. I remember being picked up and getting a narcotic injection. The next thing I knew, I was in bed upstairs, and it was 1945 again. And I was back in my own 13-year-old body.
Oh, Alan, you just had a nightmare to end all nightmares, that's all.
I thought it might be that at first, but I rejected it. It won't fit the facts.
But it's ridiculous, all this Battle of Buffalo stuff. You picked up something listening to the radio. All the commentators have been going on about another war after this one. You've just got an undigested hunk of H.V. Kaltenborn in your subconscious, that's
but
all.
that isn't everything. I remember 4 years of high school, 4 years at Cornell, 7 years as a reporter on the Philadelphia Record, 3 novels, Children of the Mist, Rose of Death, Conqueror's Road. You think a 13-year-old can dream up all that stuff?
But it's the only possible explanation.
Maybe, but I can speak 5 languages today that I couldn't yesterday. French, German, Chinese, Russian, and a little Spanish. Although I've got a Mexican accent you could cut with a knife.
But how did it happen? Alan, I can't believe it.
All I know is here I am. I've been reading up on time theories. Nobody seems to know much about them. Evidently, time exists parallel as another dimension, and I got kicked backwards along it.
But how?
Oh, it may have been the radiations from the bomb or the narcotic injection, or both together. But the fact remains I'm here with full knowledge of my future identity.
This is quite a shock, Alan.
But you do believe me, don't you?
Yes, I suppose I must. You seem so strange, as if you weren't my son.
I'm your son, all right. Same body as yesterday. I've just had an educational shortcut.
Wait a minute. If you can remember the next 30 years, suppose you tell me when the war is going to end. This one against the Japs, I mean.
Oh, sure. Well, the Japanese surrender will be announced at exactly 7:01 p.m. on August 14th. That's a week from Tuesday. You better make sure we have plenty of grub in the house by then. Everything will be closed up tight till Thursday morning, even the restaurants. I remember we had nothing to eat in the house but some scraps.
A week from Tuesday. Well, that's pretty sudden, isn't it?
Not after today.
What do you mean? What happened today?
Oh, plenty. What time is it, Dad?
That's 11:16.
Is your watch right?
Well, to the seconds, why?
Well, it'll come at exactly 11:17:40.
What'll come?
The radio announcement.
What are you getting at? Something important on the radio? Well, we'll see.
Well, don't bother, Dad. It won't work. I remember we had a tube burned out.
There is something wrong. When is this announcement of yours?
Now I remember it. I memorized it in journalism school in 1954. What time is it?
11:18 o'clock.
We're breaking into the program now. President Truman has just announced that an atomic bomb has been dropped on the Japanese industrial city of Hiroshima. The bomb was dropped 16 hours ago, and the announcement was delayed to ascertain the results of the explosion. A man named John Howard Peterson read that announcement from the Washington newsroom of NBC.
I don't believe it.
No? Well, listen. That's the Burke Platt factory whistle. And the bells of St. Boniface. Now, next the whistle at the volunteer firehouse.
Then it's true. It's true.
Sure. Then Larry Morton came by on his bicycle.
Hey, Al. How you hear? You hear about the bomb? An atomic bomb.
Yeah, we heard.
Boy, atomic bomb. Oh, boy. I gotta go find my pop. He's on the golf course. Bye, Al. Bye, Mr. Hartley.
You knew. You knew about it.
The next bomb hits Nagasaki.
I thought that stuff about atomic energy was so much fantasy. Was that the kind of bomb that got you?
Oh, that was a firecracker to the one that got me. It was a guided 98. Exploded 10 miles away.
And that's going to happen in 30 years?
I remember it.
How about... Well, how about me? Oh, wait. Never mind. I don't think I'd better know when I'm going to die.
I couldn't tell you anyway. I had a letter from you just before I left for the front. You were 78 then, and you were still hunting and fishing and flying your own plane.
But another war. And fought on American soil. Oh, Alan, I wish this hadn't happened to you.
It happened. I remember it. But if I can help it, I'm not going to get killed in any Battle of Buffalo.
But if you remember it, if time exists as a parallel dimension, then every tick we're getting closer to that Third World War.
Dad, you know what I remembered when Gutchell came to borrow that gun?
No, I suppose that you suspected him and warned me.
No, that wasn't it. The first time when I was really 13, I wasn't home. I'd been swimming at the canoe club with Larry Morton. When I got home about a half an hour from now, I found the house full of cops.
But if the gun didn't fire...
What makes you think it didn't? Gutchell talked the 38 out of you. He went home, shot his wife 4 times in the body, once behind the ear, and used the 6th shot to blow his own brains out.
That's what you remember?
Yes. The cops traced the gun. They took a very poor view of your lending it to him. You never got it back.
But here it is.
Oh, not the way I remember it. But I didn't want you in trouble, so I warned you. Dad, I found out the future can be changed.
One man can't change the whole future.
I stopped a murder and a suicide.
I know, but...
With 30 years to work, I can stop a world war. I'll have the means, too.
The means?
Unlimited wealth and influence. I've got a good memory, Dad. I wrote a list out this afternoon.
Assault, jet pilot, citation, ponder, middle ground. What is this, a code?
Horses. That's a list of Kentucky Derby winners from 1946 to 1970.
Huh? You sure?
Well, I learned that list on a bet at the Officers Club in Cincinnati in 1971. Assault paid 8-1. You figure out what we can take in.
But gambling.
Oh, this isn't gambling. It's a sure thing. When we get rolling, we'll make the Rockefellers look like pikers.
Assault at 8-1.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose I could scrape up $5,000. In 10 years, that'll make a lot of money. Any other little thing you have in mind, Ellen?
Well, by 1952, we start building a political organization here in Pennsylvania. In 1960, I think we can elect you president.
President? Isn't that going a little too far?
Well, why not? Who wouldn't vote for a politician who was always right? Besides, that's the one thing we've got to change. In 1960, we had a man in the White House who was good to his wife and sang a nice tenor, and that's about all. He fouled up so completely, we ended up at war. Now, I think President Hartley might be a little more trusted to take a strong line.
But I don't know anything about international decisions.
I do. I know all the wrong ones. If we can stop one murder, we can stop a war. It's worth a try, isn't it?
I guess so. How do I start?
Well, as I remember, just after the bomb announcement, you got a phone call from the city fusion party about the next election.
Well, there's a lot of talk about a reform ticket.
Well, that call is going to be important, Dad. It's the turning point. Now you've got to know. There it is.
Well, what do I do?
Well, answer it. Go ahead.
But...
Don't worry. I'll tell you what to do. Go ahead.
Hello? Yes, this is Blake Hartley. Judge Cribbins. Yes. Just a moment. Alan.
Oh.
He's asking me to run.
Oh, my head.
Alan.
Oh.
Alan, what's the matter?
Oh.
Alan. He passed out. Alan, what do I do now? Alan, listen to me. Alan. Alan, what's the matter?
Captain Hartley. Captain Hartley.
He was all right, Doctor. I gave him the shot and he was all right.
Well, he's dead. All right, Sergeant. Make out the tag. Hartley Allen. Captain. Dead April 8th, 1975.
Alan, what happened? Alan! Alan!
Huh?
Alan, are you all right?
Oh, hi, Dad.
I've got Judge Cribbins on the phone. What do I tell him?
What?
Alan, are you all right? You passed out.
Sure. I'm all right. Hey, today's my birthday, isn't it? What'd you get for my birthday, huh?
Don't you remember? The Third World War?
What Third World War? Dad, what's the matter? You're looking at me funny.
You don't remember. You're back again, aren't you? Back to 13 years old.
Sure, I'm 13 today. For corn's sake, Dad.
You must have died up there. It was only a mind transfer. That means I'm on my own. I have to do it myself without your help.
Help for what? If it's the grass, I said I'd cut it tomorrow.
No, it's not the grass. I've got to save your life, Ellen. I can't let you die that way in 1975.
You're talking about, Dad? You sound goofy.
I've got to change it all by myself.
Change what?
Never mind, Alan. You don't know yet. Come on. Let's have lunch.
Sure, Dad, but how about my present now? What'd you give me for my birthday,
In a minute, son. Go on in.
Okay, well, hurry up, Dad, huh?
Sure, all right. Now, where did I put that list of horses?
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction. Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you Time and Time Again, written by H. Beam Piper and adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy. Featured in the cast were Jack Grimes, Peter Fernandez, Joe DeSantis, Joseph Bell, Clark Gordon, Herm Dinkin, Dick Hamilton, and James Dukas. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Daniel Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production.
Throughout the long hours just before dawn, Mrs. Gregory and Captain Bradford have waited in the Euclidean control chamber with G-47. Waited for news of the submarine, which is plowing northward in 50 feet of water, to meet and capture the rescue boat with Johnson aboard. Jerry and Joan have been forced to go with the submarine, and Jerry has been compelled to send radio messages from the submarine to Johnson, as if he were sending them from the Magic Island, asking Johnson to hurry to the island. As we look into the communication chamber on the 50-foot level of the island, we find G-47 looking intently into the prism reflectors. Mrs. Gregory and Captain Bradford watch him.
Don't forget you were fooled once before when you were allowed to look into this reflector.
That's true, Pat, but this time I think our friend here is too busy to bother with playing any tricks on me, eh, G-47?
Precisely. The image before you is Johnson's boat.
Then if your calculations are correct, and if those messages we heard between the submarine and Johnson's boat were genuine, the submarine should be under the other boat in a few minutes now.
Right. If Johnson's heading a steady 35, as he says, and the sub maintains it's 25, they should meet in 5 or 6 minutes.
What will happen then? What instructions have you given that woman commander regarding her treatment of Johnson?
She will bring the boat here, if Johnson is sensible. Otherwise...
Otherwise what?
It will be sunk with all on board.
Oh, Tex, I'd rather lose everything on board than have that happen. G-47... won't you let us send a message to Johnson telling him to surrender peaceably?
I want everything on board that boat, but I will destroy it if necessary. There are other materials, and your formula, which Johnson has taken from the leg of that pigeon.
Oh, you knew the pigeon had reached Johnson's boat?
Precisely.
Jerry had to give it away in his last message to Johnson. Can't be helped.
I can always compel you to give me the formula, Captain.
That won't be so easy to do.
We value that formula more than our lives, G-47. We will never give it up.
So, you see, if you sink Johnson's boat with the formula materials on board, your chances are mighty small.
That can wait. Now, if you will look into the reflector carefully, you will see the end of another of your hopes.
What does he mean, Tex?
I don't know. Let me get a good look at that thing. I wonder... Yes. You win that one all right, G-47.
What are you talking about, Tex?
Well, I had an idea Johnson might be able to slip a message to one of those battleships maneuvering around here. But that's blown up now. Look, Pat, you can see the ships going away, and they're too far off Johnson's course for him to reach them.
Yes, especially after Johnson's receiving Jerry's message to come straight to this island. It may have fooled him.
Not a chance. But Johnson will figure that for all our sakes, the safe thing to do is to obey the message. He'll have something figured out to help us when he arrives.
But don't you think Johnson might have been able to get a message to those boats without being heard here?
No message could leave there without being heard here.
No, I suppose you're right. Well, I guess all we can do is stand here and watch this. How far are they from the island?
They will meet just north of 28 degrees, about 75 miles from here.
And will this reflector show the meeting? I mean, will we be able to see the details of both ships?
Perfectly. When the time comes, I will increase the power and sharpen the focus. You will have splendid opportunity to witness the surrender.
I'm not going to stay here and see it. I'm going back to the yacht.
You stay here, Pat. We can't do any good on the yacht. We might as well see it, no matter what happens. It'll be better than sitting on the yacht, down in that dark lock and wondering what's happening to those two kids.
J24Y to J12C. Jerry Hall to Johnson.
Jerry again, sending a message from that submarine.
Silence.
J24Y to J12C. Hello, J12C. Hello, J12.
J12C to J24Y. Go ahead, J24. Go ahead, Jerry.
Have important instructions. instructions for you, J12. Copy and repeat.
Right, Hall. Standing by to copy and repeat. Let's have it.
Tex, something's happened on the submarine.
Let's go on deck.
Hey, what's the matter? Can't I go on sending to Johnson?
No, I must replace this tube. You sit over there with Cleostra. Make no move, or I shall resort to the magnetic paralysis.
Don't worry, I won't move. Get over so I can sit down, Joan.
Yes, Jerry. And do be quiet. We are nearly to Mr. Johnson's boat now. We must do nothing to endanger his life.
How about our own lives?
Oh, we are quite safe so long as we follow the commander's orders. But we must do nothing to cause Johnson to make a foolish move. It would mean something terrible for him.
You are wise, my little Cleostra.
I wish you'd call her Joan. I don't like that, Cleostra.
Jerry, please, you will do harm.
Now the tube is replaced. You may return to your seat in the control section. Touch nothing, not even this microphone. These tubes heat in a matter of seconds. When the tube glows evenly, send the message. Use care, great care. A mistake would be costly. Now.
I got it. J24Y, J12C. Hello, Johnson. Hello, J12C.
Go ahead, J24Y. Ready to take your message. Go ahead.
Get this exactly. I am in a submarine running north on your course. Should meet you at latitude 27 degrees, 56 minutes south. Meet in about 5 minutes, making 25 knots in 8 fathoms water. Meet you at 27 degrees, 56 minutes south, and 124 degrees, 30 minutes west in 5 minutes. Repeat, J12.
Right, Hall. You sound like you mean business. Here it is. You are coming north on my course, making 25 knots in 8 fathoms, meeting my boat at longitude 124.30 west, latitude 27.56 south in 5 minutes. Right?
Right. Now here's your orders. When you make the position, lay to, we will board you and direct your run to island. You will be about 75 miles from island. You will have to make it straight and fast for all our sakes. Lay to at 27 degrees, 56 minutes. We will board you there. Confirm.
Lay to at 27.56. What's it all about, Jerry?
Sorry, no information. You will learn a lot when we board you. Be seeing you in about 4.5 minutes. So. Well, how'd I do?
You are learning. The message approached intelligence. But there was one thing about Johnson's message that does not satisfy me.
I guess my message didn't satisfy him any too well either from the way he sounded.
I am interested only in technical satisfaction.
What was wrong with the reception?
There was a terrific variation between this wave band and the one used in the previous exchange of messages. Can you account for that?
No, but what of it? He got the message, and that's the main thing, ain't it?
Jerry, do not say ain't.
Okay, Joan. That all, Skipper?
Be more circumspect in your address, Hall. My title is that of Commander.
Oh, I'm sorry. Commander.
That is better. Now you may return to the rear of this section. We cease progress here. SE-1.
Yes, Commander.
Cut all power. Prepare the elevators. Correct your depth gauges. We lay to immediately.
We'll do so at once, Commander.
What's going on now?
I'm not sure, Jerry. This ship has never been on the surface, and yet we are going to board Johnson's boat. I thought no Euclidean submarine ever went to the surface.
You will see this one do it, but in a manner you may not expect. You will take that metal seat with the armrests over there, Hall.
This one?
Yes. Get into it at once.
I'm in it. What now?
You, Cleostra, take the one to your left.
Yes, Commander. I am ready.
You will remain in that position, both of you. One movement, and I will magnetize you to the seat.
I'll hold everything.
I will not move.
That is well.
All powers cut. Progress slackening rapidly. We'll be stationary in 100 yards.
Good. And your depth reading?
Gauge shows the axis at exactly 8 fathoms.
Correct. 8 fathoms is the reading here. You will take the ship to an axis depth of 7 fathoms, even keel.
Right. 7 fathoms, even keel. Going up.
Boy, see how nice this boat slants up through the water.
But nothing ever makes a sound.
Yeah. Too quiet for me.
It is done to make communication perfect within the boat.
Access reading 7 fathoms exactly. Boat stationary. Elevators ready. Orders, Commander.
Hold position. I will join you in the forward control section. You two remain exactly as you are.
Aye, aye, Skipper. Yes, Commander.
We will obey orders.
It is well. Now I will take over from you, SE1.
What's going on, Joan?
We are standing by to board Johnson's boat. It should be directly overhead any moment.
Well, I know all that, but we can't board it from here. Johnson's boat's no submarine. This one will have to go to the surface.
Silence in the central section. Ready, SE1.
Ready.
Elevate slowly by forward tube. Watch for surface cloud.
Elevating.
Hey, Joan, this boat's going to the surface, all right?
I think not, Jerry.
Sure it is. Look at the nose go up.
Yes, but look at the stern go down.
Huh? Say, you're right. This middle section is standing still. This crazy boat is going to stand on end.
I think that is right. Look, Jerry, these seats are mounted in universal brackets. Our position remains upright, while the submarine is tilting rapidly.
I'll say it's tilting rapidly. Look at the commander and the engineer way up there in the air. This is the nuttiest boat ride I ever took.
Paul and Cleopatra, come to the forward section at once.
You told us to stay here.
Silence, fools. I have changed my mind.
She's a woman, all right, even if she is skipper of the submarine.
We must hurry, Jerry, or she will be very angry.
How are we going to get up there? This thing's pretty near straight up and down by now.
Are you blind as well as stupid? The handrail on the catwalk is now perpendicular. The supporting ribs form a ladder at this position. Hurry up that ladder.
Okay. Here we go, Joan. I'll go ahead.
Yes, Jerry, and please hurry.
Climbing a ladder in an upside-down submarine. Boy, this would give the folks back home a laugh.
Well, hurry, Jerry. You climb so slowly.
You will take that swinging platform, Hall. You that one, Cleopatra.
I will if I'm able to take anything. How you doing, Joan?
I will take my place in a moment.
Gee whiz, look down, Joan. The stern of this thing is right under us, 80 feet or more, straight down.
Yes, and look through the transparent steel in the nose of the boat.
Huh? Oh, boy, the nose is out of water.
Silence. You will make ready to open the forward port, SE1.
Make ready to open the forward port.
Joan, look, that shadow. It's moving. It's Johnson's boat.
Yes, Jerry.
Open the port. Prepare to board that boat.
Open the port. Prepare to board. Stand clear.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P, Pep. Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine Cereal, presents The Adventures of Superman. Today we begin a new and exciting adventure for the Man of Steel. One that at the moment centers around the strangely locked door of Editor Perry White at the Daily Planet. Hello there, gang. This is your pal Dan McCullough. You know, any season is open season when it's a good breakfast you're gunning for, meaning breakfast with Kellogg's Pep. But this week's the special time to train your sights on a blueberry bullseye. Because Blueberry Bullseye is this week's Pep Dish of the Week, and it's the kind of tasty target you sure wouldn't want to miss. Now, look, here's a setup. You pour your regular serving of Kellogg's Pep into your bowl. Heap a mound of juicy, fresh blueberries, kerplunk in the center, and add cool milk and sugar. Then, fire away at your Blueberry Bullseye. And have you hit on a surefire combination for smooth eating? When you dig down through the juicy berries to those crisp, tender flakes of Kellogg's Pep, what a treat! Why, Pep always comes through with smacking good golden flavor. So catchy, so sunny tasting that, well, you feel like smiling back at every luscious spoonful. Keeps your spoon busy till your bowl is clean empty. And that's the way it should be, sure, because you don't want to waste cereal, especially nowadays when the cereal grains are going out to fellows and girls all over the world. So get hep to Pep, gang. When Mom brings Kellogg's Pep home from the grocer's, see that it's not wasted. Pour it out carefully and finish off every bit you pour out. The right idea is eat all your Pep. Don't waste it. Now the adventures of Superman.
secure in the feeling that all his troubles were over when Herbert Calkins, the Scotland Yard detective who came within an inch of revealing his true identity as Superman, returned to England satisfied that he was wrong, Clark Kent returned to the Daily Planet. There he was excitedly greeted with the startling news that something was happening to Perry White behind the locked door of the editor's office. As we continue now, the usual clatter of the city room is stilled as Kent walks hurriedly toward the worried group of Daily Planet employees gathered in front of White's office. Listen.
What's going on? Maybe we ought to knock down the door.
Excuse me, Johnny. Let me through, please. Sure. Lois, what's going on here?
Clark, I don't know.
Sounds like an out-down, drag-on fight to me.
Yes, I'm afraid the chief is in serious trouble.
It's okay. Relax, all of you. Relax.
Relax. Did you hear that, Clark?
Don't worry. We'll have the door open in a minute. Chief! Chief, it's me, Kent. Let me in.
That won't get you anywhere, Kent.
No, we've been trying that for the past 10 minutes.
Okay, then we'll do it another way. Look out.
Now let me tell you what...
Hiya, Chief.
Why, you broke right in.
Well, Kent, what's the meaning of this?
Why,
Are you all right, Chief?
Oh, of course I'm all right. What's the idea of breaking in my door? Don't you know that a closed door means privacy? How dare you
We were worried about
we thought you were in trouble.
Well, I am. But that's no reason for this convention in front of my door. Now go on. Back to work, all of you. We've still got a paper to get out.
Okay. Sorry we bothered you.
Come in here.
What?
Well, you just said...
I said to come in here. Something pretty serious is happening, and you may as well get in on it right now.
Now, 1 second, Chief. Before we go into that, there's a little matter of this heavy door to your office.
Well, what about it?
Well, several of the boys tried to force it before, but it wouldn't budge. And then Mr. Kent comes along.
So what? What's so important about that?
What's important?
Now, if you think that makes him a Superman,
For heaven's sake, Lois, didn't we just have enough of that with our friend Herbert Calkins?
Well, I was just...
Oh, drop it. Forget it.
Sure.
Stop wasting time. The whole world is practically coming apart from this very office.
Well, what do you
and
want?
you stand there gabbing about a broken door. Now close it, Kent, if it will close, and sit down.
Yes, all right, sure.
Now, Chief, what do you mean by the world's Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't notice this gentleman sitting here.
You didn't think the chief was talking to himself, did you?
No, Mr. Smith here is a very unobtrusive man, except when he opens his mouth. Miss Lane, Mr. Kent, meet Mr. Homer S. Smith.
How do you do?
The devil himself in a blue serge suit.
Why, Chief.
I'm delighted to meet you, Miss Lane, and you, Mr. Kent. And I'll thank you to be more careful of your language, Mr. White.
I didn't ask you to come here. You asked yourself. Now I'm telling you to get out.
Look here, you can't speak to me that way,
Oh, I can't, eh? Why, you...
Wait a minute.
Chief, that
Don't
is
you
great.
dare lay your hands on me.
No, I won't. I won't dirty my hands on you, you snake. But unless you leave my office at once, I won't be responsible for what happens.
Save your breath, Mr. White. I have no intention of leaving.
No, then I'll...
Chief, control yourself.
Let me go, Kent.
Not until you pull yourself
Let
together.
me go, I say.
Now, wait a minute.
I'm surprised at you, Chief. Why, I've never seen you act this way before. What's this all about, Mr. Smith?
Nothing, really. It's simply that I came
You be
here...
quiet. I'll tell them. All right. You can let me go now, Kent. I lost my head for a minute, but I'm all right now.
You sure?
Of course. Sorry I lost my temper, but nothing like this has ever happened to me before.
Like what?
That's what I'd like to know.
Well, listen. This man Smith came in here a few minutes ago saying he'd been sent here by John Grayson, the publisher of the Daily Planet.
I was sent here by Mr. Grayson.
I don't believe...
Now, wait a minute.
I
Chief.
showed you his letter, personally signed by him.
I've known John W. Grayson for almost 25 years. He's not only my employer, but one of my closest friends. He wouldn't embarrass me by sending a flunky in here to give me orders.
What?
I don't understand.
Exactly. And what orders? This fellow has the nerve, the unspeakable gall, to order me to withdraw the planet's support from the World Peace Federation.
Why,
And not only that, he tells me we've got to print an editorial every day on page 1, no less, attacking the World Peace Federation.
No.
What kind of a joke is this?
It's no joke, Mr. Kent. We're convinced the World Peace Federation is fundamentally wrong in principle.
Listen to him.
Wrong?
How can anything be wrong when its primary purpose is to preserve peace by establishing mutual trust and understanding among all the nations of the world?
Why, the Federation is our only hope for world peace.
Of course it is.
That's where we differ, my friends. Mr. Grayson and I, too, incidentally, believe it's impossible for nations of different languages and customs to understand each other.
It is not if we put our minds and hearts to
And
it.
that's what we've got to do, or sure as shooting there'll be another war. And when that comes, with its new type of atomic weapons, it'll be just too bad for all of us.
Right, Chief.
I don't agree.
Now, wait just a moment, please. This is a free country, and everyone is entitled to his own opinion, but... Well, Mr. Smith says he's speaking for Mr. Grayson as well as for himself.
I am.
Baloney. John Grayson feels the same way about the World Peace Federation as I do. He told me so 100 times.
He even said so at our annual banquet last month, Chief, and when he laid the cornerstone for the Unity House Gymnasium just a couple of weeks ago.
That's right.
He may have felt that way then, but he's changed his mind since.
Rubbish.
I don't intend to dispute the matter, Mr. White. You have Mr. Grayson's signed letter giving me full authority to determine editorial policy and all other policies on this newspaper.
I know,
May I see that letter, Chief?
It's right here on my desk. Here it is.
Let me see it, will you, Clark?
Yeah, sure. It's on Mr. Grayson's own stationery.
Says this will introduce Mr. Homer S. Smith, who will hereafter act as my personal representative with full authority to determine all policy, editorial and otherwise, on the Daily Planet. Well, good heavens.
Nothing indefinite about that, is there?
Is this Grayson's signature, Chief?
Yes, but I can't believe he ever wrote it.
It can very easily be verified.
Have you called Mr. Grayson about this, Chief?
Well, I called his office, and they told me he's not in. I don't understand it.
That's strange.
It's more than strange, Lois. It's serious. Chief, you and I are going to find Mr. Grayson, wherever he is, and have a little talk with him. Come on. You say you did appoint Homer Smith as your personal representative on the Daily Planet, Mr. Grayson?
That's right, Kent.
With full authority to determine all policy?
Correct.
I can't believe it. You're kidding.
I'm sorry. I had to put someone in over your head, Perry, but, well, I haven't liked the way things have been going on the paper.
You never told me that.
I know, but, well, I didn't see any reason for talking it over. You're rather set in your ways, you know.
No, I am, eh? And so now
Just a minute, Chief.
You stay out of this, Kent. Our circulation is at an all-time high, isn't it, John?
Why,
And we
yes.
got the International Prize for outstanding and impartial reporting of the news for the 5th straight year, didn't we?
Well, I guess we did.
You guess we did. You know blame well we did. And you were so tickled about it, you wanted to give me another raise. Only I made you give it to my staff instead. And that was only 3 months ago. And now, you've got the nerve to tell me you don't like the way things are going.
Well, maybe Mr. Grayson means he doesn't like our editorial policy, Chief.
Yes. That's right, Kent.
Our editorial policy is the same as it's always been. There's been no change, and you approved it, John.
Well, yes, I know I did, but...
Well, now, maybe Mr. Smith is right. Maybe Mr. Grayson has changed his mind about our policy. As, for example, our strong support of the World Peace Federation. How about it, Mr. Grayson?
Yes, I have changed my mind about that.
What? After you've gone on record 100 times as being in favor of it as the only means of preserving peace?
Well, I can change my mind, can't I?
Not about this, you can't.
Now, wait a minute,
You
Chief.
gave me the go-ahead on it, and you can't make me back down now.
Oh, is that so? Well, you get this, Perry. I own the majority of stock in the Planet, and what I say goes. And I say that from here on in, you take orders from Homer Smith on all matters of policy. Now, is that clear?
Now, wait a minute.
I'm
Come on,
sorry,
Chief.
but I'm too busy to discuss this any longer. Good day, John.
Come on, Chief.
Oh, no. Now, you listen to me, John
Please,
Grayson.
Chief.
We've been friends for a long time. And if you think you can push me around, you've got another thing coming.
I said I don't care to discuss this anymore, Perry.
I don't care what you said.
Chief, come on, will you? I think I
Let go of
understand
my
it.
arm, Kent. Let go. I'm going to tell this turncoat a thing or two.
Come on, I said I've got something to tell you.
I don't want to hear you. I want to
Will
tell
you
this...
come along? You're just wasting your breath. I understand this and you don't.
You understand what?
Come outside and I'll tell you. That's better. Goodbye, Mr. Grayson.
Almost forcibly, Clark Kent leads Perry White from John W. Grayson's library. What is in Kent's mind? We'll return in a moment to find out. So stand by.
You know, gang, nobody wants a gloom box at the breakfast table in the morning. So if you want to show up with a cheerful disposition and a sunny smile, get hip to that sunny breakfast cereal, Kellogg's Pep. Why, just one glimpse of those toasted whole wheat flakes, all golden and crisp, and you're bound to be in a good mood. You feel like eating the super sort of breakfast that gives your day a happy start. You see, Kellogg's Pep is called the Sunshine Cereal. It's chock full of sparkling sunshine flavor, a comeback for more flavor that your appetite can really latch on to. And every flake is crisp and tender and mouth-watering good. Believe me, your first taste of Kellogg's Pep tells you that you're going to get a kick out of every last spoonful in your dish. And that's the way it should be, sure, because it's not good to waste cereal. And nowadays, the cereal grains are being sent to fellows and girls overseas. So keep that in mind when Mom brings Kellogg's Pep home from the grocer's. Don't waste it. If you pour your own Pep, pour it carefully and polish off every bit you pour out. Pass the word along to the rest of your family, too. Always make sure to eat all your Pep. Don't waste it.
Outside the great stone house of John W. Grayson, millionaire publisher of the Metropolis Daily Planet, Editor Perry White is fuming with rage.
Why did you drive me away, Kent? I wanted to give that hypocritical turncoat Grayson a piece of my mind.
Well, it wouldn't do any good, Chief. He's too scared.
Scared? Scared of what?
I don't know. But in all my life, I've never seen a man as scared as Grayson. Didn't you notice his eyes and the way his hands and mouth kept twitching?
No, but... Oh, you're crazy, Kent. You're crazy. John Grayson was never scared of anything.
Well, he's scared now, Chief. Scared half out of his wits. And I'm positive the reason for his fear is tied up with what he did today.
What do you mean?
His change of heart on the World Peace Federation and his appointing Homer Smith to run the Daily Planet. There's something strange going on, Chief. Something strange and evil. And we've got to find out what it is.
You're right, Clark. Something strange and evil is going on. A great secret menace which will try all your great powers and which may prove too much for even you, Superman, unless you act quickly. What is the secret menace which Clark Kent says has frightened millionaire John Grayson half out of his wits? And what will happen at the Daily Planet? Tomorrow, the secret menace strikes. So don't fail to be with us. Tune in, same time, same station.
And remember, for breakfast, it's Kellogg's Pep.
For excitement, the adventures of Superman.
Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC comic magazines and is brought to you Monday through Friday at the same time by Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine Cereal. Say, gang, think of all the famous names you know, and you'll think of Kellogg, the greatest name in cereals. Then you'll think of Kellogg's Shredded Wheat. Makes breakfast loads of fun. Crisp, tender biscuits of whole wheat, toasted just right, and packed with natural nut-sweet flavor. Just the right size, too, made to fit the bowl. As for nutrition, well, Mom knows that whole wheat is mighty good for you. And for economy, she likes the 15 biscuits in every package. Try Kellogg's Shredded Wheat. You'll like it. And be sure to be with us tomorrow for the thrilling adventures of Superman. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
Escape. Escape tonight to ancient Egypt.
The Columbia Broadcasting System and its affiliated stations presents Escape, a new series of programs of which this, the sixth, is The Ring of Thoth by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, produced and directed by William N. Robeson. Wherever the English language is spoken, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle is known for two things: his immortal character Sherlock Holmes and his unshakable belief in life beyond the grave. So great is the stature of Sherlock Holmes that Conan Doyle's earlier stories are all but forgotten. Stories like The Ring of Thoth, which so clearly anticipates the author's later fascination with spiritualism. We invite you now to escape to ancient Egypt and The Ring of Thoth, an adventure told in the words of John Vansittart Smith, British Egyptologist.
I arrived in Paris on the 3:14 express from Dieppe and went immediately to my hotel in the Rue de Lafitte. My actions so far had worked out according to my planned schedule. I slept for exactly 2 hours, got up and dressed, donned a greatcoat, walked down the Avenue de l'Opéra, and entered the side door of the Louvre. Once inside, and amid surroundings entirely familiar to me, I made my way immediately to the Chamber of Egyptian Relics, or more specifically, to the cabinet in that chamber which contained the El Kab collection of papyri. Drawing out the particular roll I wished, I placed it on a nearby table, sat down, began to study it, when I noticed one of the museum attendants who was polishing some brasswork across the room. His face struck me as being curiously Egyptian. On sudden impulse, I decided to cross the room and speak to him. Approaching closer, I was impressed at once by the appearance of his skin. Drawn tautly across temple and cheek, it seemed as glazed and as shiny as varnished parchment, and out of narrowed slits there glowed two green and vitreous eyes, misty with a dry shininess, eyes of a kind never seen in a human head before. I beg your pardon. I need one of the papyri from the Memphis collection. Could you tell me where it is?
You'll find it in the last cabinet at the end of the room, monsieur.
Thank you. You're Egyptian, aren't you?
No, monsieur. I am a Frenchman.
But, I thought perhaps
If
that...
Monsieur will excuse me now, I have other work to do.
I went back to the table and took up the papyrus I had been studying before. But my former calmness in translating the intricate hieroglyphics was gone, and out of the depths of my mind welled a feeling of terrible familiarity. I concentrated more deeply on my studies, pushing aside those thoughts conducive to mental turmoil, and at last, worn out by the inward struggle, I fell asleep. I awoke with a start, not remembering where I was. It was quite dark for a moment. Then gradually my eyes focused on the glints of moonlight reflected from the glass tops of specimen tables, from the shiny varnish of the mummy cases. And I realized with a feeling of sudden dread that I was alone in the Egyptian room of the Museum of the Louvre, locked in for the night. And I saw at that moment, approaching through the moonlit halls, a dim yellow flame. Nearer and nearer it came until I could perceive above it, as though floating in the air, the eerie, glistening face of the man I'd spoken to earlier. I shrank into the dark shadow of my corner, and he passed without seeing me, stopping before the mummy cases a few yards away. Scarcely daring to breathe, I watched him place the light on a table and begin feverishly to examine the tags on the specimens. In a moment, he gave a cry of delight, and, drawing one of the mummies from its resting place, laid it on the table in the full glow of the lantern and set to work. He was unwinding the wrappings from the head of the corpse. A few turns revealed a tumbled cascade of black curls. A few more, the snow-white brow, then the delicate nostrils, and at last, the full, warm, passionate lips, the face of the most beautiful woman the world has ever seen.
Ah, ma pauvre petite. So long it has been. So very long. You must forgive me, beloved.
I could hardly believe my eyes. The man was obviously in love with this mummy. After a while, he left the body, turning his attention to one of the glass cases filled with an assortment of rings. From a pocket of his garment, he'd taken a small glass bottle containing some kind of liquid, and he used this now to test the rings, rejecting them one after another. Then, at last...
This is it. It's the one. At last I found it. The ring of Thoth.
In his excitement, he dropped the bottle, and I gasped in surprise at the sudden sound.
Who's there?
I beg your pardon.
Oh. So it is you. No, do not move.
I didn't mean to spy on you. I fell asleep.
Who are you, monsieur?
I am John Vansittart Smith, a student of Egyptology.
No matter. You will observe this knife.
Yes.
Had I discovered you 5 minutes ago, monsieur, I should have slain you without a word.
What?
As it is now, I have found the ring. But I warn you not to interfere with me in any way.
I really haven't the slightest intention of it. After all, I'm only here by accident.
Perhaps.
I say, you shouldn't have unwrapped that mummy, you know. It's starting to deteriorate already.
Oh, my beloved.
Yes, before our eyes, the lovely face was crumbling, the hair falling away, the skin shriveling and cracking, the lips fading. The man hovered over the decaying body a moment, murmuring sorrowfully. And then he turned again.
No matter. That will not make the least difference in a little while. Of what importance is the dead shell, so long as her spirit waits for me at the other side of the veil?
What are you talking about? What is it you're proposing to do?
Tonight, monsieur, I have ended a quest and broken at last the ancient curse. Nothing now can prevent my joining her.
Are you actually claiming that you knew her?
She was Atma, daughter of the governor of Abaris, and both she and I lived in the reign of Tutmosis 3,500 years ago.
You're obviously mad.
Perhaps, but not in the way you think. There may be design in this, your coming here. It may be decreed that I should leave some account behind as a warning to other mortals as rash as myself. Very well, then. So be it. I am, as you surmised, an Egyptian. My name was Sasra, and my father had been the chief priest of Osiris in the great temple of Abaris, which stood in those days upon the Bubastic branch of the Nile. I was brought up in the temple and was trained in all those mystic arts and sciences known to the priesthood. Of all the mysteries that I studied, none intrigued me more than the question of life and death. And even to this question, in time, I found an answer.
But for a man to live beyond his allotted span of years, Master Sastra, the gods have not so ordained it.
Then perhaps they will have to revise their ordinances now that I've discovered their secret.
'Tis not well to jest. I tremble, for though I've labored in your service for a year, I knew not the goal of your endeavors. May Osiris forgive me.
Ah, what a pity you look upon it this way. For I'd thought that in return for your assistance, I should grant you, too, the gift of centuries of indestructible life.
I would not have it, Master Sastra. And I beg that you, too, forgo it.
Forgo it? I introduced the fluid into my veins 1 month ago.
Oh, no. Then you are lost indeed.
Lost? Do you call this being lost? Let's see now. My heart should be about here.
Oh, that knife. No, don't. Master, you've killed yourself.
Not at all. See? It bleeds a little. But in a while, the wound will close up. And that's all.
It's immortality.
No. I shall not live forever. But for 5,000, perhaps 6,000 years, I shall be immune from all dangers of violence, poison, disease, starvation.
You cannot die?
Now, with this fluid in my veins, nothing in this world can end my life.
Sasra, are you there?
Someone called.
It's Parmes, the priest of Thoth. In here, my friend. Enter.
Oh. Greetings, Sasra, master of sciences, and his worthy assistant.
If you will excuse me, masters, I go to make my peace with Osiris.
What's wrong with your helper, Sasra?
The thought of a well-nigh eternal life has frightened him into gibbering superstition.
Then you still believe in the discovery?
Believe in it? Parmes, my friend. Look.
By the heavens, what a scar.
It pierces the heart. It was done only a moment ago with this knife. See? I can put it back in the wound. So.
You suffered no ill effects?
None whatever.
And if I turn the knife in the wound, that would do you no harm?
You may try it. I feel nothing. I walked last week in the snake pits by the river, was struck innumerable times. It caused no harm.
By the great Anubis.
Will you have it then? Out of all Egypt, I have chosen only you, my friend, to share the gift. But the choice is yours.
I'd be a fool to refuse, Sasra. I'll have it. And now, what must I do?
First, we must open a vein in your wrist. Like this. Then, we drip the elixir slowly into your bloodstream. Steady now.
I don't feel anything.
There is no sensation. It is done.
So simple? There is nothing more?
That's all. And now done, it can never be changed.
It seems incredible, supernatural.
It's no more than a chemical discovery, but with it, while all this about us passes away, you and I, Parmes, will live on for 50 centuries, Think of it, my friend. 5,000 years of life.
5,000 years. Only the two of us.
Listen, that noise. Some procession must be passing in the street.
I have an idea what it may be. Come on over to the window.
Beloved of heaven, clear the road, stand back, and make way for the loveliest pearl of Thebes.
She's being carried on the shoulders of slaves, Parmes. She must be some woman of rank.
Her name is Atma. She's the daughter of the new governor.
Her curtains are drawn back. Perhaps we'll have a look at her. Oh, Parmes.
Mm-hmm. Is she not beautiful?
She is the most desirable, the only utterly desirable woman I've ever seen in my life.
Yes. I saw her yesterday at the temple.
Then you're most fortunate, my friend. You've had 24 more hours to dream about her than I've had. I must know her, Parmes. I must make her love me. I'll send gifts. I'll call on her tomorrow. Oh, it has to be then. I couldn't wait any longer than tomorrow.
Calls upon the beloved of the universe. He is Sasra, priest of the temple of Osiris.
Well, bid him approach.
Enter, Sasra.
Oh, most beautiful of all Egypt, I cast myself at your feet.
That's a noble ambition. But wouldn't it be much better to sit here beside me and watch the fish in the fountain?
Much better.
You will all withdraw. Except you, my girl. Play something for us. At a distance. Well, Sasra, for so I understand you're called, am I to deem this an official visit by a master of the temple?
Oh, Atma, my beloved. That is, no. It is not official.
Oh? Perhaps then you wish to see my father on personal business of your own.
Oh, no. No. I shall pay my respects to him at some other time.
Then could it be I you've come to see?
Yes.
And since you've said the visit's not official, your reason must be a personal one.
Oh, it is.
Well, what is it?
Atma, I have known women who are famed for their beauty throughout the valley of the Nile. But not one, not all of them, are so lovely as you.
How thoughtful of you to come here and tell me.
Atma, I've no wish to intrude my desires, my hopes, beyond such extent as you may wish to hear. But, I'm finding this very difficult.
Sasra, I've been told that you're a master of science, that you've unlocked the secrets of the universe, learned all the mysteries of nature itself.
Your informants have been most generous.
Yes, I'm inclined to think so.
Why?
Because you've discovered nothing at all about such a simple thing as a woman's heart.
What do you mean?
I come from Thebes. And the women of Thebes are warm-blooded, passionate, and we know what we want.
Atma.
I saw you first 3 days ago. Why do you think I told my bearers to carry me down that street beneath your window?
And so, miracle of all miracles, Atma loved me. Worshipping the very ground her feet had trod upon, I lived through those glorious weeks, and with it all, our love grew apace. But one thing bore heavily upon my mind, and I came to speak of it more often to my beloved as we sat and talked by the fountain in her garden.
Look, Sasra. See how the stars shine from the water?
Yes, Atma. More lovely even than their glow in the heavens.
Are they very old, the stars?
Very old, beloved. As old as time.
And they'll go on gleaming there, long years after you and I are gone and forgotten.
Atma, my dearest, we've talked of this before, and I know it distresses you to think of it.
No, Sasra. Tonight everything is beautiful. We shall not talk of death.
Not of death, but of life. They're only counterparts of one another.
Oh, if we could only live together. Grow old together and die in the same instant.
But how much better to live and love 5,000 years? Will you not do it? Does so long a time seem too great for the love you feel for me?
Beloved, no. The time would pass in an instant, and the loss then be no easier borne than now.
Then why draw back? Will you not take the elixir now, tonight?
I'm afraid, Sasra. We'll anger the gods.
We will outlive the gods.
They will have their revenge.
Whatever occurred, we'd be together.
Yes, I've thought of that. Were it not so, I'd not even consider doing it.
Then you'll do it. Atma, you'll do it.
I need more time, only a little more to assure myself.
How much?
Tonight, Sasra. Give me tonight.
Every hour you live without the elixir is another hazard. All right, then. Tonight. And may Isis herself guard over you until the fluid courses in your veins. And so, on that accursed night, I went to my chambers and slept. And while I slept, the moon of Isis shone over the delta of the Nile. Shone but to light as foul a scene as was ever done on earth. Some hours had passed away.
Master Sasra, awaken! Master, awaken at once.
No. Who is it?
Oh, what a terrible thing has
Let me turn
transpired
up
this
the lamp.
night.
You're one of Atma's slaves. Why do you come here?
Oh, Master. Master.
What has happened? What's the matter? Speak.
It is she, the light of the world.
Tell me what has happened to her.
Master. Brigands came in the night. She is dead.
You lie. You lie.
Oh, Sasra, the slave speaks the truth.
Parmes, my friend. What foul joke's behind these words of his?
It's not a joke. Atma is dead. You, slave, depart from us.
Yes, masters. By your gracious leave, I depart.
Such a thing cannot be. Oh, of course. The two of you planned it together, sought to frighten me out of my wits. It's very amusing, really. But I was terrified for a moment.
Atma no longer lives. She was stabbed to death only a short while ago.
No. Oh, no. She can't be dead.
She is dead, Sosra, and for all eternity.
I must go to her. Surely something can be done.
I killed her.
What is it? What has happened?
I killed her.
Oh.
I struck her through the heart with this very knife.
You, Parmes. Why?
Because she loved you.
Why?
And because I loved her.
You, my friend.
She would not look at me.
And for that you would lose her to both of us forever?
To both of us, Sosra? I think not.
By the living Osiris, give me that knife.
That's it. Strike. Again. Here's the heart. Here, strike. Again and again, Sosra.
Wait. What foolishness. I cannot kill you.
You're wrong, Sosra. You have killed me. Those were grievous blows.
But the fluid, that cursed elixir of life, it runs in your veins as well as mine.
True. But in mine is also the antidote.
You lie. There is no antidote.
Yes, day and night. These many weeks I've worked, and I found it.
You couldn't have. Is there more of it?
Yes, a very little. But you'll never find it.
Where is it? Tell me where it is.
In the ring, Sasra. In the ring of Thoth. And you'll never find it.
I will. I must.
Go on. Live your 50 centuries. And every hour of them, think. It was your hand that struck me down. With the same knife that took her from you. Think while I go to join her.
Oh, no. You're not dead. You're not. No. 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 For months, I searched the papers, test tubes, and the chemical flasks in the chambers of the dead priest of Thoth. Searched and found nothing. I sifted the sands where he'd walked, questioned his slaves and servants, and learned nothing. Every moment of my life, my terrible and unwanted life, was devoted to an unceasing hunt for the ring of Thoth, and all to no avail. And in time, a horde of barbarians overran the city of Abaris, and the sands of the desert buried forever the last of my hopes. And so began the deadly march of the centuries. How can you know how terrible a thing time is? You, who've experienced only the narrow course between the cradle and the grave. I've floated down the whole stream of history. I have traveled in all lands, and I have dwelt with all nations. Every tongue is the same to me. I need not tell you how slowly the centuries drifted by. Centuries without end. Years without number. And so, I came to be one day, a few weeks past, in San Francisco, where I came across a certain item in a newspaper.
Among recent discoveries in Lower Egypt is an unopened mummy case containing, according to the inscription on the outside, the body of the daughter of the governor of Abaris in the days of Tutmosis. In the same burial crypt, dropped into a crevice between the stones, was found a large platinum ring of singular design. Both specimens have been sent for examination to the Louvre in Paris.
So, I presume you came here to Paris, obtained this position of attendant in the Louvre with the idea of...
Only yesterday, Monsieur Smith. As you may imagine, I had little difficulty in convincing the director of my knowledge of Egyptian relics.
The ring, then. The one I saw you remove from the case is the ring of Thoth?
Without question.
You've discovered how the ring must be used?
The secret is obvious. See, the stone is hollow, and drops of liquid move within it.
Have you considered the possibility that...
Nestle's Ever-Ready, the instant cocoa. Nestle's Quick for great chocolate milk. And Nestle's chocolate bars now present Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol! In today's transcribed Space Patrol adventure, Buzz and Happy have landed on a distant planet to help 500 enslaved workers escape from a mine. Happy waits in the grounded ship while Buzz walks toward the robot-guarded mine shaft.
Cadet Happy to Commander Corey.
Go ahead, Happy.
I just picked up something in the viewscope screen. It's one of those robot cargo jobs, and it's heading this way.
Happy, those ships never land anywhere in Gabonic except the city spaceport.
This one's sure barreling in, sir. If it keeps its present trajectory, it'll land right in the mining area.
Land? It's set to crash.
Crash?
It's the Ruger's work. We can't stop that ship. It'll explode and destroy every living person in this area.
We'll return in just a moment with the thrilling story of Frightened Robots.
Space Patrollers, this is Commander Corey. Let me ask you something. When Mom and Dad had their breakfast coffee this morning, did you have a good hot drink? You know, you need a real morning warm-up for all-day power. That's why you should always start the day the Space Patrol way, with a big cup of Nestle's Instant Cocoa. It's just loaded with good hot nourishment for real energy. And Nestle's makes the greatest hot cocoa you've ever tasted. It's rich, it's smooth, it's delicious. It's really out of this universe. And wait till you see how fast and easy it is to fix. And Nestle's Ever-Ready is so easy it just about makes itself. Now listen, here's all you do.
Just put 1, 2, 3 teaspoons of Nestle's in your cup and add hot water. That's all. Now you're all ready to drink it and get your supply of morning pep. A Nestle's Ever Ready is the complete cocoa, too. You add nothing but water because whole milk and sugar are already in it. You ought to see the lineup around here when they sound the Nestle's call. Everybody goes for that delicious Nestle's chocolate flavor. That goes for me, too. Now, why don't you get the Nestle's Space Patrol habit? Ask Mom to stock your galley with Nestle's and drink it regularly, the way we do. And you'll have power to spare. That's Nestle's Ever Ready Cocoa in the bright red can.
And now, today's Space Patrol adventure, The Frightened Robots. Commander Corey and Cadet Happy are in the Terra 5, high above the surface of the planet Gobonic, a world ruled by robots. They've just blasted off from a forest region where they said goodbye to Mono and Anila, two friends whom the Space Patrollers rescued from enemies in the principal city of the planet. While Buzz is at the controls, Happy idly adjusts the Space Patrol periscope, the amazing hyperspace optical device that can show a close-up view of any part of space.
You see anything interesting, Happy?
There's a train of cars, sir. Probably headed for one of the farming areas outside the city.
Gobonic is a depressing planet. Well, I hate to leave it.
I found a Mono and his friends, you mean?
Yes. Gobonic won't be free until the robots are overthrown. That might take years.
Sure wish we could do something to help them.
Well, it's not our job to meddle into other people's internal affairs, huh? What we've done was just to save Mono's life. We acted as individuals, not as agents of the United Planets.
Hey, I thought those trains left the city empty.
That's what Mono told us. They brought back full of supplies, and half of them sent to Warmont.
Oh, these cars are open, sir. They're like we'd haul ore in, but some of them are full of people.
Oh, farm workers, probably.
They're just jammed into those cars. Oh, it's poor people.
I know how you feel, huh? That's something we have no control over. Our job is to explore Warmont for radioactive minerals. Better cut off that periscope before you feel worse than you do now.
Yes, sir. Hey, we've got to get this to Mono when we let him out of the ship.
Oh, look now, his robot control unit.
It might come in handy if Mono or any of his friends have to return to the city.
Well, perhaps it's just as well Mono doesn't have it. If he's caught with one of the administrator's robot controls, people think what would happen to him.
Agent 7 at Gobonic City calling ARL Camp 21.
Commander, it's one of our space phones.
Turn up the volume, man.
Agent 7 at Gobonic City calling ARL Camp 21. Come in, please.
ARL Camp, that's an anti-robot league hideout.
ARL Camp 21 here. Go ahead, Agent 7.
That's Mono. Hey, they're operating already. They've distributed our miniature spacephones inside the city.
Warn all the League members not to try to enter the city. Don't even contact us by spacephone. The robots are rounding us up.
We've been betrayed.
No, I don't think so. The roundup isn't very selective. But this morning, 500 workers from all sections were picked out and put aboard a work train. They're on their way to the K-Light mines.
K-Light mines? How did you find out?
The robots broadcasted all over the city. Obviously, it's a disciplinary action.
Of course. K-Light is useless. K-Light dust is harmful to human beings.
When 500 workers are diverted from essential production and sent to the K-Light mines, there's only one explanation.
It's a warning to everybody to stop trying to overthrow the robot.
Exactly. Anyone even suspected of aberrationist tendencies, off they go to the K-Light mines.
We'll suspend all activities for the time being. Be careful. ARL Camp 21 out.
Now we know where those carloads of people are going. To the K-Light mines.
That's criminal. It's cruel punishment. It's completely useless. I wonder just how we're going to make those robots on.
You think the administrators, like our friend Ropenar, might have more control than they let on?
It's possible. Trouble is, Mono and his friends can't find that out. Only administrators can get near the robot master control.
Our periscope could show us that master control. Or would that be interfering?
Maybe it is. But when robots can send hundreds of innocent people into slavery, I say it's time to interfere.
So do I.
I'll get that map of the city Mono drew for me. Then we'll use the periscope and find out how that robot system operates.
I've got it, sir. There's the central administration building.
Okay, Hap, now we'll scan it floor by floor with the periscope till we find the master robot control section.
Whatever information we find out, we can pass on to Mono.
Well, the lower floor seems to be a headquarters for the robot patrols. Uh-oh. Here's something interesting. There's a shaft right down the center of the building.
Elevator shaft?
It looks like it. I don't see any elevator. Something's happening at the bottom. A robot just entered the shaft at the ground floor level. There's a hall leading to it from the street.
Oh, private entrance for Zards, huh?
Apparently. Yeah. The robot is rising straight up the shaft. Look.
Wow.
8, 10, 15. probably 20 stories up. Now it's stopped in midair. It touched the control on its belt.
Gravity belt.
That's it, Hank. Now it's reaching out and pulling itself toward a platform at the side of the shaft. And opening a door.
The robot with a gravity belt. But not even Ropenar had one of those.
Evidently just the robots have them. Now the robot's walking down a corridor. It's opening a door. Pat, look.
Handing something to somebody. Hey, that's Ropenar.
Ropenar receiving a message from the robot. And by the looks of that room, that's Ropenar's living quarters. Right there in the administration building.
Now the robot's leaving.
Pat, if we had one of those belts, we'd get into the administration center.
And then we could save those people from the K-Light mines.
Yes.
Then they go back to Gobanic?
Right. Got those Gobanic work clothes in the ship. Ropenar's robot control unit.
How do we get the gravity belts?
We can find a robot outside the city walls. We'll inactivate him with the control unit. It'll be dark in the city in about an hour. We'll set the ship down a mile or so from the walls.
On one of the top floors of the administration building in Gobanic City, Administrator Ropenar, in charge of Class H functions of patrol robots, has been summoned to the office of Daruga, Chief Administrator of Gobanic.
You realize, of course, that you were the first human being from Gobanic to make a space flight in 300 years. You are now an unknown variable where our computers are concerned. Unknown variables are dangerous to our robot-controlled economy.
I don't understand, Daruga. The space flight hasn't changed me. As I explained, I was forced into the ship by these visitors from another solar system.
You, Ropenar, may have been contaminated by your brief exposure to these two strangers from outer space.
Oh, no. They will not trouble us again. It is all forgotten.
The computers will not forget. I had to feed false data into the master computer to arrange this shipment of workers to the K-Light mines. Some sections are now short-handed. That means longer hours, a general speed-up and lower efficiency.
Yes, but there will be no more anti-robot talk among the workers. They're thoroughly frightened.
Fright, Ropenar, is a factor that cannot be measured by the computers. Our robot controls can maintain proper balance only if the human population can be kept calm and placid. Fear and hope of change, these must be kept to the minimum at all times.
Yes, I understand. And I will keep my robot patrols alert for any sign of aberration.
Very well. You may go, Administrator Ropenar.
Thank you, Chief Daruga.
Special Directive 47 to Class G robots. Administrator Ropenar, in charge of Class H functions of robots, is now under surveillance until further notice. Record and report aberrationist behavior. Daruga.
With rockets cut out, the Terra 5 descends to the ground by rappel array a mile from the city. Under cover of darkness, Buzz and Happy make their way to the high walls. The plain, drab coveralls of the Gobanic workers cover their space patrol uniforms. At the gate stands a single robot guard.
There's just one of them. He's got a gravity belt.
Maybe we can get another one inside.
I think he sees us now. I'm going to immobilize him with the control unit.
The robot's frozen, sir.
I'll handle this job alone here. I'll take the robot's gravity belt and enter the city. You stand watching the ship.
Yes, Commander.
There's no trick to moving the robot's gravity. It's a simple button. It really fits me. I'll turn to this knob so it lifts me to the top of the wall.
Sure wish I were going with you, sir.
I'll keep a miniature space phone on that. I'll keep you informed if I have a chance. Here goes.
Hey, it works.
Return to the ship, Happy?
Yes, sir. Good luck, Commander.
From the top of the wall, Commander Corey looks down inside the city. Seeing no one near, he lowers himself to the ground with a gravity belt. With casual gait, but on the alert, Buzz walks through the streets to the administration building, avoiding the curious inspection of robot patrols by pressing a switch on his robot control unit. A walk down a deserted corridor brings him to a tall shaft extending up to the top floor of the building.
Commander Corey, if that happens, can you lead me?
Yes, sir. Everything okay?
So far, at the bottom of the robot shaft. If I can get up the rope now, room without being seen. Here goes. This gravity belt's a great thing. I'll try to pick one up for you on the way back to the ship.
Fine, Commander.
try to contact me, Hap. Someone might hear the spaceophone. I'm entering the corridor now.
Get your hands up, Rupnar.
What do you mean by... Hurry!
Don't try to reach for your robot control. Yeah, I better remove it from your belt. I don't want to use this ray gun on you, so behave yourself.
You've got to get out of here. If you're found in my room,
You'll be sent to the K-Light mine, perhaps. With the other 500 prisoners.
What did you know about that?
You answer my questions first, Rupnar. You administrators rule the robots, or do the robots rule you?
I don't understand what you mean.
Just this. Computers juggled a lot of work quotas and picked 500 human slaves to go to the K-Light mine. K-Light is useless. If those people work in the mines very long, they'll get sick. For many of them, it'll be fatal. Isn't that right?
Yes, I suppose so.
All right. Was that K-Light deal automatic, or did somebody prime the computers? I want an answer, Rupnar.
The computers may have been adjusted a little.
And they could also be adjusted to bring those people back.
That's impossible.
I think you can find a way to work it out. Even if you burn out a couple of keys in the computers, it's better than forcing 500 people to mine poisonous K-Light.
The computers cannot be changed, I tell you.
Now, look, Rupnar. I can do a lot of mischief to your patrol robots. Your push-button police. I can make you look pretty foolish. I can do all this without hurting a single human being, not even an administrator.
You wouldn't wreck my robot.
Unless you bring those people back from the mines, you will be in the junk business. How about it?
I think it can be arranged. If you give me time to talk to the chief administrator. Of course, he must never know.
But he does know.
Daruga!
Both of you stand perfectly still. This weapon in my hand can destroy you both. A move from either of you, and I shall use it.
We'll return to Space Patrol in just a moment. Say, here comes Tony Sides. Well, I'll be. He's growing a mustache.
Who? Me, Captain Two-Fell? What do you mean?
Oh, you sure have. It's brown and quite a long one, too.
Ah, gee whiz. That's no mustache. That's some Nestle's cocoa. You see, I had a cut just a few minutes ago. And, well, I guess I was in such a hurry to drink it, I got some on my upper lip. I'll just lick it off. Gee, that's good.
Yes, that's what everybody says, Tony. You know, Nestle's Eveready makes the best cocoa in the universe. It's so rich, so chocolatey, and so smooth.
You know, since we got the Space Patrol habit at our house, all my brothers and sisters drink Nestle's cocoa for breakfast. We love the way it tastes, and boy, we sure love the pep it gives us. Starting the day with a hot drink is real smart, especially when that drink is Nestle's cocoa.
You said it. And Nestle's Eveready is so easy to fix, it practically makes itself. You just put 1, 2, 3 teaspoons in your cup and add hot water, and that's all there is to it. Milk and sugar are already in Nestle's, so you don't have to add a thing. Gang, how about you? If you haven't tried the Space Patrol way to start the day, don't wait anymore. Chow up for delicious Nestle's cocoa. Ask your mom to get Nestle's in the bright red can. And now back to our Space Patrol adventure, The Frightened Robots. Buzz and Happy are determined to save several hundred inhabitants of the planet Gobonic who've been forced to mine the poisonous mineral K-Light. While Happy remains in the Terra 5, Buzz undertakes a daring one-man expedition into the city. With the aid of a gravity belt taken from a patrol robot, Buzz rises to the 20th level of the administration building where he encounters Roknar, an official of the robot-ruled government. Just as Buzz obtains a promise from the unwilling Roknar, the chief administrator, Daruga, suddenly appears and holds Buzz at bay with a powerful weapon.
Drop your weapon. Go on, drop it.
All right.
No, Roknar, don't touch it.
But, Daruga, I was only going to hand it to you.
Indeed. Here I find you in a cozy conference with a worker. A worker who has somehow been smuggled up above the 3rd floor.
But he's not a worker. He's Commander Pori, one of the visitors from another solar system.
So much the worse for you, Roknar. I was right. You have been contaminated by this stranger. I heard you plotting against the robots.
No, Daruga. He forced his way in here. He threatened to destroy the patrol robots unless I agree to bring those workers back from the K-Light mine.
He's telling the truth, Daruga.
Your presence here introduces new factors. Variables with which our computers may be unable to cope.
Then you administrators will have to do some thinking yourselves for a change.
Not if I eliminate the disturbing factor. If I destroy you now, right here, the robots need never be disturbed with new information.
That's it, Zaruga. Get rid of Corey and everything will be just as it was before he... Corey, let go of me!
Hold still, Rupnar. Let go of him, Corey. You can't escape. There are Z-type robots out in the corridor.
How about this window behind me?
Beyond it is a straight drop, 20 levels above the street. You see, you are trapped.
Come on, Rupnar. You're going through that window.
No, we'll be killed.
Corey, stop or I'll fire.
If you shoot, you destroy Rupnar, one of your own administrators.
Corey, have you lost your mind? Keep away from that window.
You're going through it if I have to carry you. So long, Daruga.
Corey,
stop struggling, Rupnar. He can drop you. This gravity belt should support both of us.
We're not falling. We're rising into the air.
Hang on, you'll be all right. Commander Corey to Cadet Happy.
Happy here, sir.
I'll blast off immediately. Pick me up directly over the administration building. If this gravity belt holds up, I'll keep rising.
Yes, sir.
I've got Rupnar with me. They might send some robots up after us, so hurry.
Quickly blasting off, Cadet Happy circles back over the city. A tiny dot on the viewscope shows him that he's picked up Buzz and Rupnar ascending vertically over the administration building. Cutting the ship's velocity, Happy heads toward the commander, pressing a button on the rocket cockpit panel to open the outer hatch.
Can you come closer, Happy?
Yes, sir.
This gravity belt doesn't give any horizontal motion, Hap, just up and down. You'll have to maneuver the ship so I can reach the open hatch.
Yes, sir. When I get close enough, I'll cut my forward speed with a blast from the nose rocket.
Right, Hap. Got to make it on the first pass. Bruckner's boss, Daruga's sending up some robots with gravity belts.
Okay, Commander. Get set.
I'll get this one done. I'll hold on to you, and you concentrate on pulling us into the ship. Yes, Commander.
This is it, Commander.
Now, Bruckner. Now. I got it! We're in the airlock, Happy. Kick on the tail rockets. We're losing altitude.
Okay, sir.
All right, Rupnar, move up forward.
Yes, Commander.
Nice bit of maneuvering, Happy.
Thank you, sir.
I got the sedan.
All right, Rupnar. Watch him, Hap. I'll take over the controls.
Hovering in the air over the city. We might have been killed.
Yeah? At least it would have been quick. Not like working in the K-Light mines.
Well, that reminds me, Happy. I've got to contact Mono. Commander Corey aboard Terra 5, calling ARL Camp number 21. Corey to ARL Camp 21.
ARL Camp 21. Mono here. Go ahead, Commander.
Mono, this is about those men that were sent to the K-Light mines. If they escaped, if they survived, could your camp take care of all 500?
For a time, until we could distribute them around to the other camps. At least they'd be no worse off at the mines.
And spread the word around. You're going to have company.
But, Commander, mines are guarded by robots.
I've got 2 robot control units now, plus a technical advisor, Rupnar.
You've captured Rognar again?
Yes, he's here in the ship. If Happy and I deactivate those robot guards, can you lead those 500 men to safety?
If you can hold the robots off until the men reach the forest north of the mines, we'd have a chance.
Good. I'll pick you up the camp, and then we'll head for the K-Light mines. Corey out.
An hour later, Buzz and Happy have picked up Mono, and now, with the anti-robot leader pointing the way, Buzz heads the Terra 5 toward the K-Light mines.
Mines are in that range of mountains just ahead, Commander.
You set the ship down far enough away to avoid alerting the robots. Then you and I'll approach the mines on foot.
Can I go with you, Commander?
You better stay with the ship, Happy. Keep Rupnar locked up back aft. If Mono and I run into any problems, we'll contact you by miniature spacephone.
Yes, sir.
Happy, get Mono a blaster while I set the ship down.
Yes, sir.
Leaving Happy in the ship, Buzz and Mono strike out over the ridge for the mines. As Buzz and Mono descend the slope, a breeze charged with an acrid dust blows toward them from the mines.
There's one of the outer guard, Commander. A robot. It sees us.
We'll just keep walking toward it until we're in range to work the control unit.
Got to deactivate the robot before it deactivates us.
But how many robots are here at the mine?
I think about 25. At least half of them are down in the shaft with the miners.
The robot's suspicious. It's coming toward us.
I think we're in range now.
Okay, stop. I'll use the control unit. Still coming. I'll give it another charge. My control unit isn't working. Use yours.
Yes, Commander. Mine doesn't work either. Commander, the robot's reaching for his immobilizer ray.
This blaster's likely to arouse the whole camp, but I've got to use it.
You got it.
Back up the hill quick, before the other robots come to investigate. Duck behind the stick at Mono. See if we're being followed.
There are 2 robots heading this way.
Yes, but they're moving very fast. It's curious, I guess.
I wonder why our control units didn't work.
I've got an idea about that. Contact Happy. Commander Corey to Cadet Happy.
Happy here, sir.
We had to use a blaster on the robot guard hat. The Ruger must have changed the response frequencies on the robots. Our control units don't work.
What are we going to do? Pick off the robots one by one with blasters?
Well, we can't risk it. The robots might turn on the workers. Now, listen. Get Rook now and bring him here. Maybe he can give these robots direct orders.
Can we trust him?
You'll have to. Moto and I'll be waiting just over the top of the ridge. All right, Rook, now you can come out now. The commander's got a job for you.
A job? What do you mean?
The commander will explain. Come on, we're going for a walk. Into the airlock, Rookner.
Where are you taking me?
We need an expert on robots, and you're elected. Go on, into the lock.
Of course, Cadet. Anything to oblige. Hey! This is the jet I've been waiting for! There. I'd finish you right now if I were sure I'd escape from Corey. But this will hold you for a while.
What's taking Happy so long? I'll contact him again. Commander Corey to Cadet Happy. Happy, can you read me?
Happy here, sir.
Hap, where are you?
In the ship. Commander, I pulled a boner. Rognar got away. He pulled a sneak punch and knocked me cold. I just came through. I'm awfully sorry, sir.
Now, Hap, listen. Stay on guard in the ship. Moto and I are going to try to get into the mines and lead the workers out. For some reason, most of the robots are leaving the area.
Maybe Rognar got a warning through. No, he hasn't had time to get there. And he doesn't have a control unit. Uh-oh.
What's the matter?
I just picked up something in the viewscope screen. A spaceship.
Spaceship?
Yes, sir. It's one of those robot cargo jobs. And it's headed this way.
Mono, could it be coming to the mines?
That's unheard of. Spaceships are used only to take cargoes to the other planet, Warmark. They never land anywhere on Gabonik except the city spaceport.
Well, this one is sure barreling in, sir. If it keeps its present trajectory, it'll land right in the mining area. Maybe some big-shot administrators are aboard.
Human beings never ride in spaceships. Not here on Gabonik, I mean.
Robots are leaving just as that ship is coming in. Hap, how far away is that ship?
Oh, at its present velocity, it should land in about 5 minutes.
Man, looks like it's set to crash. It'll probably explode and destroy every living person in this area.
Smoking rockets.
Stand by to blast off, Hap. Moto and I are returning to the ship.
Racing over the rough ground, Buzz and Mono reach the Terra 5. The incoming robot ship is now plainly visible to the naked eye as the commander rushes to the controls.
Stand by for blast off. Close ports.
Close ports.
Fire jet.
Fire jet.
Up ship and away. You're right, Commander. That robot ship isn't leveling off. It's headed straight for the mining area.
How are you going to stop it? Those people will be killed.
There's just one chance. Destroy it before it gets any closer. Hap, stand by to fire both atom cannons.
Standing by, sir.
When you're on target, fire.
Ship will hit in 15 seconds, sir, unless we blast it first.
I'm on target. Fire.
I hope that shot's good.
You've got it.
Robot ship's gone. Hold on.
The pressure must have been terrific back in the mine. Let's hope it didn't do any damage. We'll circle back and inspect.
Frightening thing. That ship had struck the ground. All those people.
Then Deruga or some other top administrator must have given the robot the signal to leave the mines. He wanted his valuable robots out of danger. The administrators say that the master robots are beyond human control.
Yes, that's true.
But Deruga pulled that ship out of a course that's followed for centuries. It must have changed the master control.
Yes. To destroy 500 helpless innocent people. If it hadn't been for you, Commander.
Mono, your enemies have given you proof that the robots can be changed. They can be redirected to help humanity, not to enslave it and destroy it.
Hey, look at those people down, looking up and waving.
They're waiting for you, Mono. Waiting for you to lead them to freedom.
An action preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure in just a moment.
Commander Corey calling all space jockeys. Calling all space jockeys. Accelerate jets. Full speed ahead if you want to get in under the wire, because today is absolutely the last time we will ever be able to offer you a sensational rocket cockpit for your very own. A gang, don't miss out. The rocket cockpit is so much fun, all equipped with moving viewscope, operating speed controls, our secret star drive, master dials that give you the official Space Patrol code,
and atomic cannons that really fire. Now, this rocket cockpit is a real model of the one I fly, so you know it's scientific and complete. Now, here's how you get yours. Send your name and address and 25 cents along with 2 wrappers from any Nestle's chocolate bars to Nestle, Box 54, St. Louis, Missouri. That's Nestle, Box 54, St. Louis, Missouri. And do it right now, because this offer will never be made again. And I want all of you to have the thrill of flying with your own rocket cockpit.
And now, a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure. Buzz is descending the face of a cliff on the planet Gobonic to rescue his friend Mono on a ledge below. In their spaceship on top of the cliff, Happy contacts the commander by spaceophone.
How you doing, Commander?
I've got to go down another 100 feet, Happy. If I can get to Mono before that robot does. Mono, answer me.
What happened, Commander?
Mono collapsed down there on the ledge. The lead robot got him with an immobilizer ray.
Smoking rockets. Can you reach him before the robot?
If I do, I'll be in range of the immobilizer.
I know. Use your blaster on the robot.
From this height, I might hit Mono. And there are 5 more robots closing in.
Be with us again next week for the thrilling Space Patrol story, A Planet in Peril. Space Patrol, created by Mike Moser, starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston. Produced and directed by Larry Robertson. Executive producer Helen Moser. Other players were Ken Mayer, Norman Jelly, Bela Kovac, and Tony Sides. Dick Tufeld speaking. This week's Space Patrol was brought to you by Nestle's Eveready, the instant cocoa, Nestle's Quick for great chocolate milk, and famous Nestle's chocolate bars. This program is broadcast for Armed Forces overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Space Patrol came to you transcribed from Hollywood.
This is ABC Radio Network.